Welcome to the Personal Tanya for the 12th day of Shvat, where we are discussing how to become one with God. Until now, the Tanya has discussed with us how we can experience intimacy with God through the mitzvahs. And this was comparable to a body and soul, or to a chariot and a rider. But today, the Tanya is going to take us deeper in how we as human beings are able to connect with God on an even deeper level, more than a body and a soul or a chariot and rider, which are two different entities that are working together as one. When it comes to Torah study, this is an even deeper bond than is formed through a mitzvah between Jew and his maker. It's more intimate oneness than through mitzvahs, where you are actually becoming one, not two entities working together like a horse and rider. And the reason for this is, the reason why Torah has more of an intimate connection with God for us than mitzvahs do is because Torah is wisdom. And when it comes to wisdom, you cannot differentiate the thinker from the thoughts. You can't differentiate the speaker from the wisdom. The wisdom is one with the thinker. Hence, the Zohar tells us that God and his wisdom are one. When we incorporate God's wisdom within us, we're capturing not just God's wisdom, but God himself, because God and his wisdom are one. This is the union that's formed, the intimacy formed between a Jew and God through the study of Torah, that is so much deeper than the intimacy formed through the mitzvah, where two entities work together like a body and a soul, or a chariot and its rider. Here through Torah, we actually become one with God. When we study Torah, we're connecting with God's actual desire directly and unfiltered. Through study, we're connecting our powers of thought and speech, not just the power of action, which is what connects through a mitzvah, but our higher garments of the soul, thought and speech, as well as the godly soul itself, which now becomes one with God. This divine energy in Torah, incidentally, is more powerful than the divine energy in the spiritual upper worlds, because the divine energy in those worlds is a diluted form of energy. But when it comes to God's energy inside of Torah, it is God's desire, unfiltered, laid out, black on white. There is no filter in God's desire as it manifests in Torah. And that's why the divine energy in Torah is something called sovev, which means infinite or unlimited energy. We connect to this powerful, infinite energy with the highest echelons of our soul. When we study Torah, we are becoming one with God. Now, the fact that we don't sense this powerful divine energy every time that we're encountering Torah is immaterial. Like Daniel, it says in the book of Daniel that their knees were shaking and they did not know why. Our sages explain that their soul sensed a divine revelation, but it was more than their conscious mind was able to process. So it manifests in the shaking of the knees, even though they weren't conscious of what divine revelation was going on. Similarly, in our lives also, we experience an inspiration, a divine revelation, without even knowing it in our conscious minds. But sometimes you might be inspired, let's say, to do teshuvah, to repent. Or you'll get a thought that was inspirational, that came out of nowhere. You won't even know why. It bypassed your conscious mind, because your soul above is able to see what your mind is not able to process. And it's this bond, this unity, this intimacy that we are able to achieve each and every single time that we study Torah. So in contrast to a world that was created as a prop to be able to distract us and allow us to experience freedom of choice, to choose between those entities that are aligned with God and those entities that are opposed to God. If we want to experience intimacy with God, we can do that through the mitzvahs, but even more so through the study of Torah. It's available to us at any time and at any place. For today, that's a wrap. Let's try to apply. You can